fam, welcome to another episode of You,
Me,
and the Flea.
We're back.
Thursday, baby, and it's a special one.
It's our favorite.
It's another half of a year gone through.
Cheers.
What? Cheers.
If you're driving and you have like your tumbler
get your
by
coffee
you,
up.
raise it up.
Raise it up. If you got your wine, if you're on a Saturday and you got your mimosa, what's up, Flea fam? This is episode 78. That means it's been a year and a half of us. Whoa.
That's wild.
Isn't that insane? How?
And we still find stuff to talk about.
There's always something to talk about.
There is, especially...
Or we give them something to talk about, you know?
I agree.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to. If no one's going to ask, we're going to tell them. So, with that being said, it's our favorite, and with every halftime, as we know, it's explosive, it's unhinged, they're fun, they're wild. We got Kendrick Lamar doing the halftime show this year.
I know, actually.
How do we feel?
I love it. I feel like, given all the drama with him and Drake this year.
Yeah. The only thing I will say is because it's in New Orleans, I feel like Weezy should have maybe...
I know
that would have been sick.
He was a little salty.
I'm sure. Why wouldn't you be? You know. But anyways, regardless, I feel like all those shows are always so well produced and
Bangers,
fun. At least in my opinion.
I agree.
I always like them.
It's gonna be good.
But anyways, with that being said, it's time for our unhinged episode.
So it's our halftime show.
Right. So we've gathered our questions and we're diving deep.
Let's
dive.
Ready? Yeah.
Let's go. The first thing, I was going to ask how you're doing, but I don't really care. The first thing I wanted to talk about was, what do you think about Diddy? Did Diddy do it?
Yeah. Did Diddy do it? Diddy did it.
Diddy done it?
Diddy did it, done it, been doing it.
Are you following?
Yeah, of course. It's funny. I was just out a few weeks ago, right, in Michigan, and somebody out loud, I heard this and I wrote it in my phone. They said, smack that man's bald head with some Diddy oil.
Oh,
I said,
right. Not the Diddy oil.
No Diddy.
I know. There's so... Here's the thing, though, dude. I actually, when the R. Kelly drama went down, I was like, thank God, because I hate his music. I really do. Like, if I heard Ignition one more time, I was going to literally blow my brain out.
The Diddy one hits. It sucks.
Diddy?
Yeah. And then I just saw,
his music slapped a little for me, hard.
There's
that one album, when it was all collabs, I was like, dude, I can't listen to Last Night anymore. More Money, More Problems.
I know, it's wild.
It sucks.
There's a lot of speculation going around because of all the people that he was tied to.
I know.
Ashton Kutcher, I've seen a lot in the headlines about this Diddy
situation. They really think Rihanna's involved. They think Beyonce's involved.
They think he had to do with Brittany Murphy's death.
Yes. Yep. I know.
That gives me goosebumps because I was obsessed with her, and that would just break my heart. But it's wild.
All the Justin Bieber speculations, Usher deleted his Twitter.
Yep.
I don't know. There's so much. I'm I fall down rabbit holes.
Me too. You could just scroll all day long, and I'm I gotta get out of here. Yeah. I just saw there was 120 new cases that came out.
It's insane. It's insane. I mean, the fact that the feds have it in their hand, it's he's done so.
You might as well just say you did it.
It's a wrap.
Yeah.
Literally. But anyways.
Should have wrapped it up back then. The party situation.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
Brought it too far into the 2000s.
I'm sorry. I saw that Cassie video in the hotel. I'm dog, you're done, Zoe. Yep. That's just straight up whatever. But anyways.
It's funny because I think back then too, all these people on these high class profile situations, there was no camera phones back then, so they thought, or any footage. But now it's you could never do any of that now. With the way that people you would have a video right away.
I mean, even just businesses in general now have cameras everywhere. Where
there's so much more security.
So rare.
Yep.
But now, as a business organization, you have to have cameras everywhere, and so sorry, dude. Anyways,
Time's up.
Moving on. All right, hit me with something.
All right.
And just for, the record here, the task at hand was, current events, hot takes, love, relationships, the goods.
Do you think dating apps have made dating more transactional?
Yeah, of course. 100%. I feel like, yeah, it's almost, even for me, like just scrolling, like I feel like I'm looking through a catalog. It's like I'm not even looking at a person.
Yeah.
Because I'm just looking at their 5 best photos.
Yep.
And their funny little witty,
prompts.
If they're witty, prompts. If not, sometimes some people give you garbage. And sometimes people put the same 5 photos. So, you know, it's a wrap. And how can you ever tell something, like, how can you base who someone is based off of that? It's so transactional.
I agree.
It's a joke.
So recently, Chicago was just named the 4th worst city in the U.S. to date. Do you...
To date, yeah.
Yeah. Do you, like, to date in? Do you agree with that? What's been your experience so far? I mean, you've lived here 10 years.
Yeah. I don't know if I fully agree with that. I really don't. I feel like we have a lot of options, and I think maybe that's why that is what it is. When I go back to visit home being Indiana, Northwest Indiana, that's slim pickings.
Yeah.
And so that to me is like very depressing. Like, you know, because there's very few options of like where to go to meet someone,
like your actual hangouts.
Correct.
Got it.
And it's like also the pool narrows a little bit too when you've like, you know, maybe dated someone's friend, like, you know, your high school friends, and like, you know,
everyone
that kind of
knows each
it's
other.
like I've also been in situations where it's like, oh, you went to Highland, you know, that's another school.
Yeah.
Oh, you went to Munster, right? It's like, oh yeah, do you know so and so? And then they find out about. So just as much as like I think it's bad in the city where it's whatever, where people are, you know, judging you based so quickly off of something or waiting for the next best thing.
Yeah.
They're doing that at home too, in my opinion, in a different way.
Sure.
Where it's like, you know, they're closing you out because it's like, oh, you worked with my aunt. She said you were scum, like blah, blah, blah. People do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't know. So it's just, it's interesting. I think in general, there's a lot of options in the city. I think there's so much fun in the city, so there's a lot of temptations, and that makes it hard. Even for me, right? Like, it's like, okay, you know, I want to settle down so bad, but then sometimes you have like a really fun night and you're like, do I?
Yeah.
But you do, you know, and I don't know. So I think it's hard in general. Do I think it's the 4th worst? I don't know. I also don't put myself out there too much so that I don't get hurt. So I can't like fully speak on it,
Sure.
I think. But that's my thoughts.
Okay, I like it.
What do you think?
Good answer. Yeah, I mean,
where would you rather date? Small town? Would you rather date in a big city?
Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think there's pros and cons to all of it.
I think so too.
Yeah,
It's just finding the right person, you know? In the way that it's supposed to happen.
I definitely feel like there's more competition as a woman in the city because there's so many good, like good-looking women.
Yes, 100%.
So I think that is a lot harder to like, rather than being like the good-looking girl of the small town.
Right.
You know?
I don't mean to say this like negatively, but yesterday I was watching The Voice, and this, I don't know, a solid like 5 or 6 guy. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't like, you know, a Montana boy to be like, damn. Whoa. And he's single now. Anyways.
I know.
Shout out.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark. Okay. But, okay, so he was like, you know, just a typical guy. He was a country guy. In fact, he had like whatever. And he's like, oh, like, my fiance's a big fan of Gwen Stefani. Like, can she come out? And so his wife came out, and no joke, dude, she was like a 12. Like, it was insane. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, this small little podunk town in Alabama, and she's like, she could literally have Mark.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I mean.
So yeah, I think.
But do you want to? But like, does that matter?
I don't know.
Doesn't
so
matter.
I guess to answer your question,
matters,
yeah,
you know?
I think it's pros and cons to each.
Totally. And we're all gonna look ugly in
eventually
20, 40, 50 years, hopefully. Hopefully we stretch mine as long as possible. Anyways.
Your turn.
All right. What's a major red flag for you?
I have the same question. Major red flag for me is like communication and inconsistency. If you can't communicate, like especially I would say more recently, I think it's a deal breaker for me now.
Communication.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But what do you mean with like that? Like you want a partner to like tell you how they feel, or like just...
I mean, I just don't think it's hard to like...
Are we talking like, hey, I'm going to the grocery store, I'll be back at 6? Like,
how about this?
Like
hey,
overly?
I don't need overly. Like, I don't need to know every step of your day, right? But it's not... I don't think it's hard to be like at, 1 a.m. when you're out with your friends still. Like, oh, I'm still out. I'll be home in a few hours. Or stuff like that.
Of you. Yeah.
Or
like
you're on a work trip and it's like, hey, even though I'm like out, running around town, like, wish you were here. Something like that. Like I don't know. Communication for me is just a really big thing. Yeah. And I need somebody who's like very consistent.
Yeah, totally.
I feel like I'm a pretty overall very consistent person. Like I thrive on a routine. I thrive on a to-do list. And I need, for me, like I've just realized with like my mental health, like I need someone who's like stable and can like literally
not
like,
skew that. Yeah.
Like they're the same all the time.
Not put a wrench in your schedule for sure. But how long do you give someone then? Because I mean, for example, like a red flag on a first date for me would be like, if we're like out and you're treating like people around us like unkindly, like that for me is like manners. Done. But like with communication, it's like, I mean, that would take some time to like figure out.
We're
you know
talking
what I mean?
like off the gate.
Off jump. I'm talking like you meet someone. Yeah. It could even be like a friend. Like sometimes I've met like people in pub and I'm like, oh no, I'm sorry. Like I just got the ick. You're done.
Okay, so then bad manners and honestly personal hygiene. Don't be coming out smelling. Look at your nails. Get the dirt out underneath them.
My God.
I'm sorry. Like I don't care what brand clothes you're wearing, but like this is like you're representing yourself, and you're like come on.
Yeah.
So okay, but then if it's like long term, well, communication and consistency.
All right, sounds good.
I have that same. I had that same one. What's the biggest lesson you've learned so far in your life?
Oh my God. Oh my gosh, I feel like I've learned a lot. Wow, really putting me on the spot here. I think like the number one thing I would say is like lesson wise is like you have to kind of be your own cheerleader in a sense. And what I mean by that is like I've spent a lot of my adult life alone, right? And so it's like I don't really have someone to say like great job or
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, and words of affirmation and things like that like really truly matter, or like even just day-to-day stuff like getting up and doing your tasks or work or your home tasks or whatever. Like you have to be like self-motivated. And I think that's really important, and that's not something like some people teach. You're like taught to kind of like rely on someone. You rely on your mom, you rely on your parents.
You're supposed to get married,
and then you rely on your friends to make you happy, or your significant other or whatever. And it's like sometimes like you have to be that first person, and I think it's a really hard lesson to learn. And some people learn it the hard way. Like you get dumped. You go from. I mean, I think about from my 20s. Like I went from a pack of like 30 really close. I always would say, I don't know how I'm gonna get all these bridesmaids up there. Like I thought these girls were like ride or die for me and stuff, and all of that stuff, all of them dwindled in a sense, minus like a handful. And at this point in time, I just like go back to that person and I'm like, wow, I put those girls
on such a high pedestal
above anyone, and sacrifice myself and my own, care, if you will. And when you really sit in your own space, all of that stuff comes to surface. And it's like you have to kind of like learn to get yourself out of that, I don't know. So I think that's one lesson that, recently I've been kind of dealing with. And it's hard, right? It's hard to like even motivate yourself and like push through some of that stuff.
I would agree. I think that's a great lesson. I would say like, I would kind of bounce off that and say that also like anything you want, like nobody is going to do it for 100%. You. Like you literally have to do it. You have to put yourself, you have to keep grinding. You have to keep
be
trying.
Your own superhero.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you really do.
So I definitely agree with that.
Love that for us. One of many lessons, trust me. Okay.
Right.
All right, I'm going to switch a little gears. Let's talk working from home, okay? A hot take recently that people are saying is that it kills creativity, kills collaboration and connection. You are a person that works at home, so like what are kind of your thoughts on that?
I mean, I guess I would agree in like a sense, but I think my situation's a little bit different because I am able to like leave and meet with clients and come here and work, or, you know, we're in the field working. I don't have that problem as much, but I can definitely see how like if you are literally just at home all the time, like, yeah, I don't know that you're 100% doing like your best work.
Yeah.
I think that being in a workspace with people, you kind of like you're able to bounce that creativity and those ideas off one another.
100%.
I just think about our meetings, you know, like I'll come in with like stuff I want to talk about, but then we start talking and I'm like, oh, well, this just sparked this, and then this just sparked this, and now I have another idea to do this. So I definitely think that there is something to be said about coming back into the office for sure.
Yeah.
I do love the hybrid, like 100% think that's like, if I were to go back into like a corporate full job, that would be like the best thing for me, because I do still like being able to work at home because I am pretty self-sufficient. Like I wake up early and like sometimes like I'll be up at 5 a.m. working.
Right.
But
and an office might not be.
Yeah. So it's kind of nice to have that option. But I definitely can see how this could be a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very interesting concept, and I think you hit it head on. We're lucky that we're in a lane with what we do that fortunately we get to be creative a lot of times, and I personally think you can't be creative sitting at a desk.
I was gonna say, like I don't think any job you do is like you're gonna get the, like, I don't think anyone
I could see like finance or something with numbers or like, tech
but they will have meetings like outside of the office. Like I just don't think anyone belongs in a desk 24/7 working their job, no matter what field they're in.
I agree. Yeah,
like it's for sure. You're just stuck there in a tunnel.
Well, I think too, like, so many companies, especially starting with like some of the bigger like Fortune 500 ones, when they started doing like, loungy type spaces instead of like just cubicles or desks and stuff, I think that changed the scope of work too, because it's like, okay, like it's okay to take your laptop and like sit on a couch and maybe like, get like work somewhere else, right? Or like coming in and out instead of like being right at your desk at 9 and like not leaving there till 5. Like that's not good for anybody.
No,
like people should be going on a quick walk, or I would always sitting in a different space, or collaborating with someone else, in my opinion.
When like, I was working in an office, that's literally what I would do on my lunch hour. They knew I was like, I'm going to take my wellness walk, literally. And I would spend my lunch hour, I'd eat for like 10 minutes, and then I would seriously walk and just get some fresh air. It makes, of course it's hard to like come back to work, but it makes like your day so much better, just being able to like get some steps in, move around a bit.
Yeah, I agree. All right. What do you got?
Do you think people are more or less fulfilled in life now compared to previous generations? Wow, am I an interviewer?
That's a really good question. Why am I getting all these weird deep ones? I feel like
because I feel like you're like very like.
I will quote this from like a vendor at the Flea, if you remember. Remember we were talking to him, and I think you had said to this vendor, like the world is in shambles, like everything's like a shit show. Excuse me. And he's
sounds like something I would say.
Yeah, and he's like, none of this is new. Like all of this is. He's like, I've been around for 70 years. Remember? And he's like, all of this stuff is repeating itself. We've always been in political, debates like this. We've always been in civil wars. We've always been in all this stuff. He's like, it's just blasted in our faces. And I think that's what it has to do with a lot, like people are comparing themselves more, or because
it's all over you. The internet is a thing now. It wasn't before.
But we also can control that too. Like there's so much good that comes from it and whatever. So I don't know. I mean, I think I look back to like my mom's generation too. That's what I was gonna
say.
And I hear her like stories of like, what they went through stuff. I mean, my parents knew each other for 2 weeks and got married. I've said that multiple times, but it's like was that love? Was that dating? Like, no, that was like almost an arrangement quasi. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, and then they had struggles, and they didn't even have a term mental health. They were just sitting in their rooms. Like, I mean, I've seen my mom cry. I've seen my mom struggle. I've seen my mom, like, nothing's different. Again, like, it's nothing really different. We're just putting like names on it. Like, oh, I have ADHD, you know, like, I'm sure back then they did too. I mean, that generation was the first to deal with like divorces and serious things, and I think they kept a lot of things under wrap too.
Yeah, I think
they were taught not to talk about things.
I agree.
Their problems, their cheating,
it's all
that
just
stuff.
all out in the open.
Yeah, like now if your boyfriend cheats on you, you blast it and blast him, and it's all over the news. And whether it's a celebrity or not, you know, even if it's, you know, your best friend, like, it's just a natural thing to like put someone on blast for that. Back then, your husband cheated on you, you bit your tongue, you sat there, you dealt with it, and it's like, no, I'm good. So I don't know. So is that lady happy?
I don't know. I would
probably
agree.
not, is my guess. You know, she's dealing with it in a totally different way. I don't know. So I don't know.
No,
I just think
I don't think there's a right and wrong answer.
I think it's like a modernized way of the shit that's always been happening. Personally,
for sure.
You know,
I like these responses. I agree with you, though. I agree. I don't think there's a right or wrong.
I have another kind of deep one for you. Okay, so Chapel Roan, you know her. Yeah. She is, you know, she hit it really hard this summer with her hits, right? So she's been in the news lately for, in particular, a couple things. Like, one thing was like her fans wanted her to like endorse a political person.
Do more. I saw that.
Yeah. And she, like, you know, did her thing. So there was like drama around that. Around who she like, then she was like, I don't endorse them, but I'm voting for them. So it was a big, that whole thing was messy. Yeah. And then there was this other part of it too, where then she got like in a tiff with her fans, and like started kind of like yelling at her fans via like TikTok and stuff, right? So anyways, there was like 2 back-to-back like issues, and then
wasn't it about like her mental health or something?
Well, okay, so here's the thing. So then, with all of that being said, she had like 2 back-to-back shows in Madison Square Garden, completely sold out, and she's not doing very many shows right now. Well, okay, that's the point. So like all these people are not even they're flying in to see her specifically, getting rooms and all this stuff. And she woke up that morning and was like, you know, I'm sorry, like, I'm canceling these shows. No reasons other than my mental health. Now, there's a lot of controversy. A lot of artists are like, dude, it's your freaking job. Like, you can't just cancel shows like this because of these like little tiffs that you've gotten, and like, handle it type of thing. And so, you know, so a lot of artists and, you know, singers and stuff are like, she's not cut out for this, you know, whatever, because of what she did. And I don't think there's any, again, people spent a lot of money to do these things. So as a person who has, like, you know, mental health things,
you don't, it's okay. You can say that.
No. I'm just trying to like phrase this right. But like, what do you think on that? Like, I mean, have you,
listen, I think...
do you think this is an excuse, basically? Like, is it something people can, like, start doing and throwing out like that?
See, and that's the thing. Yes and no. I don't think it's a good excuse, but I do think there is, you know, definitely like situations where you're just like, I can't pull through. I mean, I know that I have been there before. However, I feel like I have definitely done a lot better in the last year of being able to like compartmentalize like life and then like work. Like it is your job. You need to show up. Like you think you're the only celebrity or actor or actress or singer who's had like a mental break. Like you kind of have to know what you're signing up for when you get into that industry. So like somebody like me who, you know, has experienced like mental health things. I have ADD and ADHD. I'm very open about it. I mean, I get it, but I also feel like, you know, there's also a lot of sources now more than ever before. So you should be able to like kind of have those like coping mechanisms and that outlet or that support system that can kind of get you through. When you are selling tickets at the prices that she's selling them and you have people coming from all over the place, I kind of think at the end of the day, it's like fake it till you make it. Like you're not the only artist who's like gone through stuff.
Right.
I mean, people have mental health problems and they're CEOs or they're making financial decisions for their company or their parents. Like, I get it. I do. I've like I said, I've used the excuse before of like, not being able to pull myself out of bed, and it wasn't an excuse. I've definitely been in that situation. But I think in this day and age, it's not cute. It's not a good look.
Yeah.
It's not a good look.
I mean,
she's so new to the industry. I don't know that.
But yeah, we'll definitely see what happens with her. I'm sure she'll bounce back just like anyone. I mean, like, this isn't the first time an artist has like taken a break. For like Bieber did it, right? But his was more physical stuff and whatever. It does. All this stuff takes a toll on you.
Yeah, it's exhausting.
Do I think she was prepared? Probably not. This is a lot of stuff for
I don't think
for someone. I don't know how I would deal with that. I mean,
I don't think I could.
I get one or two comments thrown at me on the Swap social, and I don't panic, but like if I had thousands of people attacking me,
I'd lose it.
I don't know how I would feel. Like, of course that would take a toll on you, but like you said, I think you just have to find the coping mechanisms to like pull through it and like not let that affect your work. Because at the end of the day, like, just as many thousands are coming at you, there's other thousands that are like relying on you, so I hope she figures it out. And I just, my thing is, as long as people don't abuse the term, you know what I'm saying? Like,
because there is people who actually have mental health problems, and now because everyone has them, it's like the people who actually need help are not getting the help and respect that they deserve.
Of course, and I've had very close people in my life who have had like severe issues, and it's just a bummer that people are throwing it out there like that. So, anyways,
I agree.
Get over it. All right, what do you got?
Okay, what qualities do you value most in a friend?
Oh, okay. First thing that came to mind was loyalty. Just someone who like, I think like as you get older, it's like supports you for sure, because I think friendships change. Yeah. Right. So it's like, I just go back to, again, like, 18, 20s, whatever. That was all fun and games, but now it's like life's hard,
your fun friends. Yeah.
Yeah, so you might not like love all my decisions or everything I do, but like as long as you have my back, like I think that's important. And I also think having fun is important. Like I lean on my friends a lot for that. Like they're my break from work or in life and reality. And so it's like, if I can't be able to like sit around a table and laugh with you and like be sarcastic and joke around and stuff, then what kind of friendship is that?
Yeah. No, I agree.
So I would say those three for sure. Loyalty, support, fun.
Okay.
What do you think?
Gotta throw a little fun in there.
Definitely
loyalty, support. I think it's like, I want a friend to be able to kind of call me out and maybe tell me when I'm not doing like living my life the best. I think those are sometimes like the best friends you have, right? Because they know that you can do better and you're not. So I think honesty is a big one too.
Oh my God, dear friends, please don't be honest.
I'm too honest with people,
I know,
so that's probably
why
the issue.
Like, can we? Anyways, no, me and my friends, we always like joke around, like we like tiptoe around it because we just love each other so much. I'll never forget this too. I was like cleaning out my closet because when I was moving to the city, and I, no joke, had zebra print zip ups, and I had them in purple, light purple, turquoise, and then a white and black. So I had 4 of them, and I was like folding them and about to like pack them in the box, and my friend goes, do you
are you gonna take those?
No, so kindly was like, you like those still? I was like, are they out of style? And she's like, I think. And this girl has 0 style whatsoever. Love you, Leaks. But she like doesn't. And so when she said it, I was like, okay, these have got to go. This is her way of being like, girl, we got to retire enough. The 2016
We're done.
Zebra. You ain't taking that to the shop.
No, we're all wrap it up there.
Okay, next one. I would say, let's talk. I don't know. I have 2. I don't know how many we'll have time for. Okay, but one would be like, relationships today. So in terms of like, a lot of people like to be open now, like open relationships.
Oh, I could never. Nope, I'm out. I'm way too jealous of a person. I'm not sharing you with anyone else.
I literally have seen that on like Bumble lately, where it's like,
really?
I've like scrolled through pictures and I'm like, why does this guy have so many like him and a girl, him and a girl, him and a girl? And then I like read it and it's like, me and my wife are looking for someone. And I'm like, dogs.
It ain't me.
It ain't me.
Not me. Like, if that is your thing, hey, do it.
Okay,
but I am like, okay, like this whole like mom talk soft swinging thing.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good.
No way.
It sounds
that is so
awful.
messy, dude.
You know what? I'm like so over the drama stage. Like, I just don't even want to put myself in situations like that.
That stuff sounds so messy.
Like, listening to these podcasts with these girls, I'm just like, so you can't have alcohol, but you can
drinking
do
your
this.
Mountain Dew is a sin, but you're gonna bang your best friend's
husband. What?
I'm out.
Yeah, same.
It's weird. And then you hang out with them the next day and go to church with them.
No.
Like what?
So no, I'm not an open relationship girly. I am a one girl, one guy. That's
gotcha.
It. Yeah.
What about long distance relationships?
I'm not opposed to long distance. I know.
Do you think they can sustain?
Yeah, I think, with technology now, with like FaceTime and all the different platforms that you have.
So are you traveling there or what?
I mean, I think they come to you, you go to them. They come to you, you go to them.
That's like a financial burden.
It is, but how much
up.
do you love them, I guess? What if you're not finding it in your small town?
And then are we going tit for tat? Like,
you bought that strip, I bought that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never been in a long distance relationship, so I'm not sure how it would work. I'm never gonna do things. I just don't know because I don't have the experience,
Yeah.
It would be different. I just feel like those nights that you want to come home and be like, hey, let's make dinner, but you're literally on the phone. You're like, let's make pasta together through FaceTime.
Yeah, no, I'm out. I can't.
Stupid.
I've actually done stuff like that before. It's
in
pretty
COVID.
dumb.
In COVID.
No, I did that younger when MySpace was a thing.
Oh, okay.
And you would meet people in chat rooms type of deal.
MySpace.
We'll move on.
Yeah, wow.
I had lots of area codes I was talking to. We'll say that. I'm like, okay, it's 6 in the East Coast. I'm just kidding.
She's
but
not.
But am I?
Oh, man. Okay. I don't know, man. I got a few good ones. Okay, let's see. What role do you think social media plays in shaping people's views on life and success?
Oh my God. Unfortunately, it plays a big part. And it shouldn't. I feel like people should do some actual research or form their own opinions. I recently was watching something too that was and again, this is something I do every single day. We're posting constantly. So it's I believe in the power of social media. I really do. But with that being said, it's tough. So many opinions.
Oh,
everyone has a voice now, and it's just a lot.
Everyone's an expert at everything.
I mean, and I'll just speak on from the experience of what we deal with, right? It's we'll get these comments from visitors that come to the swap with either they simply had a bad day and a bad experience, right? Okay, someone gave you you didn't like your taco, you didn't find the deal, you didn't find the item you were looking at, and so you went to Google and spoke your mind about it, which you have the right to, totally fine. But then, you don't realize the impact of then, let's say 100 customers are reading that review and it might steer them a different way, which is why it's important for us to do the positive spin on, on specifically Swap, right? To show them that, okay, really, it's not that bad. You know what I mean? You just didn't find the speaker you were looking for, but there are hundreds to choose from. So that's not to, shun the speaker section. Yeah. And this is an example, but so it's that kind of stuff that really bums me out about social, especially with politics and this and that. It's okay, well, of course, if you're leaning towards one side, everything that you see on your For You pages are going to be on that side.
Yeah.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Is ghosting ever justified? Why or why not? Have you ever ghosted anyone?
Have I ever ghosted anyone? I don't. It's like not my style.
I know. I was going to say, you're like too brutally honest.
I am. I'm just like, hey, like this is just not going to go anywhere. I'm not a ghoster because if I get ghosted, I'm coming mad. After and
I don't
killing.
ever want to talk to you again.
Like I probably didn't like that, and I think we're just not a match.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not really a ghost. I've been ghosted. Like a while ago, but I wasn't really ghosting at that time. This was like my early 20s, right? There was like no term for it.
When you were ghosted, like, were you like, oh, I think like,
yeah,
I was ghosted because of this reason? Like,
I didn't know the reason, but I definitely was like, oh, I think I'm like getting ghosted. It was like maybe. I don't even know if ghosting was out, but it was like, yeah, this guy's like he's definitely not. Yeah, he ain't texting me back. And then me and my friends would like come up with like excuses of right, and I'd be like, oh man, maybe he cut his thumb off at work or something.
Oh,
and then be like, oh
God.
Yeah, his phone died, or he dropped it out the boat, or like yeah, and I'm like,
maybe he didn't pay his cell phone bill.
Sure,
Yeah,
I mean,
any
all
excuse.
The maybes.
It was never you though.
No,
it's always
it's
always
them.
the other person for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm too honest to be a ghoster. I'll just tell you, like,
tell it like it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Do you believe in love at first sight?
Okay. Yeah, I do.
You do?
Okay. And what I mean by that is like, I feel like at first sight, like first day, I can get those vibes.
Okay. And then they quickly go away.
Well, no, I don't know. I feel like you can see someone and like instantly hit it off, and like that immediate like spark, chemistry, and attraction.
Yeah.
I feel like if all of those are aligned and you like meet someone, I truly, truly in my heart of hearts, like think it's real.
Okay.
I don't know.
I've never experienced
that. That's just
me.
I'm a hopeless romantic though. But
yeah, I go back and forth on this. Like sometimes I think it is like you hear those stories and I'm like, this is bullshit. Did this really happen?
Yeah.
But they do.
Like a degree of it, right? Where it's like, you know, you hear like the high school sweethearts when they're like, yeah, you know, he was in my class and we started talking and we went on a date or whatever. It's like, okay, that wasn't like technically like love at first sight, but it was like, you know, you just kind of knew, you had a hunch, you know? I don't know. I think it's out there.
Okay.
At least I want to believe it.
Me too.
I'm going to go another route. Influencers. Okay. A lot of them, you know, there's a lot of controversy around influencers. Everyone wants to be one. I would love to be one myself personally. But like a lot of them are starting their own businesses now, right? Yeah. They're like making a candle brand or a clothing brand or all this stuff. Curious what your thoughts are on it. Do you think it's overpriced? Do you think like what the hell are they doing?
No, I'm a big supporter. Listen, if your girl could be an influencer and make her own shit, I would be. Like, I think it's awesome if you have the means and like the reach to do it. No, I think. Of course, there's some of the stuff that's like, okay, am I spending $150 on this candle? Probably not. But I have used multiple influencer products, and they're good. A lot of them are good.
Not necessarily their products, but like products that they create. Have you like...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. So, look, I mean, from a marketing standpoint, I think it's brilliant and genius. Yeah. Like, first of all, of course, you have to take your money that you're making from there and invest in yourself. Money. And also, if you can pay yourself, why wouldn't you?
Yep.
Right? And if you're passionate about something. And also, if social media dies tomorrow, because we've seen some of these glitches sometimes, you know, all it takes is for Zuckerberg to get pissed off one day and we're all done.
Yep.
So I get it. I think it's important. I think it's smart. I think it's a brilliant business move.
I love the multiple streams of income.
100%.
Yep.
My only gripe is like I have bought some stuff, like specifically from a clothing brand that an influencer started, and I'm just like, okay, to me this is like Old Navy. Like, really? I don't know. Okay. I didn't love it, and I paid like $78.
See, there's nothing really that I didn't love. I mean, that energy drink with the collab, but that's not her.
Yeah, no, the collab is different. Yeah. Like, I'm talking.
No, I know.
So
yeah.
Okay,
so you're talking like Danny Austin with Divi.
I love Divi. That's what I was going to say. That's one product I really do love. I've tried 2 of her stuff and I love them.
I also have liked her products.
Yeah. Nudes. I don't know if you've heard it. It's Geraldine Denner.
No.
Hers, like, you know, she made this brand called Nudes. Brilliant marketing. Great. Like, she's insane.
It's like Skims.
Insane. And it's like, I was literally at 9:01 in my cart and something like sold out. And I was like, whatever. So there's a lot of hype around these things. But I don't know. I like got the product and I'm like, okay, this is just a bodysuit. Like,
yeah.
And then I got one literally from Old Navy like a couple days ago and I like compared them and I'm like, wow, these are like the same thing essentially. I don't know. So I think if you're going to do something, do it. But then it also goes with like your trust and love for the influencer.
Do you actually, are they actually like promoting this product because they like it, or they're just getting, you know,
like, I mean, Jaclyn Hill with her like makeup products and like them going south, it's, you know, it's,
they weren't great.
Do you still believe her?
They were not great.
Yeah,
no.
I never tried any of her stuff, so I have no idea. But
it wasn't great.
Well, anyway.
But I still like, I listen to her.
Girlies.
Yeah.
The amount of links I have tapped on in my that's God. The only way I shop anyway, so. Yeah. So I ain't hating.
Yeah, I agree with you. No, I don't hate it. If you got the means to start something and you can make money, and reinvest the money into yourself, I say go for it.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. Mm-hmm. Do you have one?
Yeah. Do you want me to ask you one more?
Want me to rattle one?
No. Okay. I'm kind of bouncing around, so I'm seeing. What's your take on situationships? Do you think they're a healthy way to explore connections, or do they lead to confusion? It's so hard because it's like, listen, nowadays it's like you almost want to like meet someone and be like, okay, do you want to get married? Do you want to have kids? Because like, if not, don't waste my time. But then it's like, oh, am I crazy as hell if I like approach this in the first time meeting?
Yeah, I think it goes back to kind of like what you were saying initially with like communication. Like, I, at this point, like you said, am just like too old for that. So it's like, I didn't mind like if you asked 25-year-old me what I thought about situationships, I'd be like, yeah, that's fine. Because I was juggling like 2 or 3 of them. Like that, I was like always in this place where it's like, do I like him? Do I not like him? But I kind of like him. And he feels this where he doesn't. So it's like, I don't know. I was in a lot of situationships, I feel like. But now it's, no, I have to know. Like, I'm not scared to ask, like, what is this? Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And if it isn't what I want, then I'm out. You know? I don't know. It's like too... I guess my thing is, if someone's in it, God bless you, if you want to deal with it. That's the other thing, too. Like, if you're work or, you know, if you're a parent or something like that and you're, like, kind of dating around and you don't know what it is and you're okay with not knowing what it is because it's working for you, fantastic. Then stay in that situationship, really. But I mean, for me, no. I gotta get some clarity.
Yeah, I'm not interested at all.
You gotta tell me what's up.
I'm out.
Last one. Well, it doesn't have to be the last one, but my next one is, what do you think about the term once a cheater, always a cheater? Do you think it's true?
Dang. Hit me with the killer. Yeah, we'll leave after this convo. We'll be done. Listen, I want to say no, but I think it's true.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Maybe. I don't know. I go back and forth on it, right?
I think if a person does the work to
be better,
to change, then it's fine. Like, then I don't, whatever. Now, you cheated on my girlie because, okay, a lot of people, again, in their 20s, you experiment, you mess up, you like do stupid stuff, right?
But we're in our 30s now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But so it's like, okay, if you did it when you were, you know, then just because you were having fun or you didn't know, or, you know, you were too drunk and made a mistake, if you're like still saying those same excuses now, you're always going to be that unless you like work on.
But my thing is, like, once you are in your 30s as a male, I feel like especially, like, you're not changing.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I
really truly think anyone can change if they put in the work at something, right? Like,
but
whatever that looks like, you go to therapy, you get in touch with your own feelings, like, you know, you figure it out, you become a little bit more little steps at a time. And if you do those things, I can see that because I'm just talking from like experience of like
Yeah.
my male friends or
Yeah.
like even me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you sit back and figure it out, I think totally. But I think some people,
Don't want to put the work
guys
in.
and girls, yeah, they're
Yeah.
dogs
Yeah, I agree.
and their habits and whatever. So
They just
keep doing you.
Yeah, choose to live that life.
Okay, another last one then.
I'm not a cheater.
Raise your hand.
Never cheated.
Raise your hand if you've been tempted. See, discipline right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
What do you think is worse in a relationship, boredom or jealousy?
I think jealousy.
Same. Boredom, I feel like, is a
Yeah,
season.
whatever.
You know, like, and you
Sometimes
can
it's just
spite.
bored.
You gotta. I
You gotta
think.
fight through.
I think you can address boredom and be like, "Yo, I'm bored."
Yeah.
Like, we got to do something. We got to
We
take
need
a
to switch
trip.
it up. Yeah.
We got to like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
We got to figure this out.
Yep.
We got to, you know. Because also too, like, something can so quickly change your relationship
Yep.
if you're bored, right?
Yep.
Then you all of a sudden then
New hobby.
you have a kid, or you get promoted in your work, or you lose your job, or whatever. Like, something will happen to like spice it up. Mm-hmm. But jealousy, dude, I don't know if anyone can truly overcome that.
I don't think so. I know I can't. Personally.
I don't blame you. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough, especially if it's been like instilled from jump.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep it flowing. So,
I'm with you.
all right.
I'm ready for a cocktail.
Any other final unhinged comments, hot takes?
No, I don't. The last couple ones I have are the exact same ones like you have, and we've kind of just answered them together.
Oh, okay,
We did
perfect.
pretty good.
Wow, yeah,
we
yeah.
have like very few similar, so clearly we're on the same page.
Clearly, we want to know the same things.
Yeah,
about
no.
each
We
other.
might as well just ask.
All right, y'all. Well, hope you learned some new things from us, not flea market related today.
What a great
Happy
episode.
halftime! Happy year and a half, baby!
Woo! Ooh, that
to the
was
next
bad.
to the next half of the year and beyond.
To the next year and a half, if you will.
What a halftime show! This is a good one.
This was. As always, if you guys like this episode, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, thanks for listening to another episode of You,
Me
and the Flea.
See you next
week.
time.